Okay, so I talked a little bit how I wanted to make a string character, or I wanted to make a character array string, and I wanted to prove to you guys that strings really are just a really fancy type that a lot of stuff is built in for you, and I wanted to show you how much is really built in for you. So I just made a new console application here in my Visual Studio. You can do it in whatever your Eclipse or whatever have you, GCC compiler if you're using any sort of Unix system. And so, all right, so I need to include. There we go. IO stream. I need to include my string, right? My header files here, and I need to use my namespace. std. So there we go. So all right, so now we have our basic skeleton here set up, just ready to start printing out information and show you. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to declare a string. I'm going to say string. And let's see, I'm just going to call it string value. I'm going to say this is I'm going to call it a char, C-H-A-R, char array, right? All right, so, and let's prove that to ourselves. Let's prove that, let's see. So if I said this really was a solid value, right? If this really existed just as a string, I would not be able to index each individual one, right? But let's demonstrate that, right? Let's do a cout right here, and let's say the character at 0. Oop, I guess I could have just put 0 there. At 0 is, and I'm going to say value 0. And so if this truly is not just a character array, see std string value, right? And type def std, right? I can't really point it out to you here, it doesn't really work out, but you can see that it's talking about character arrays there and some generic types, some very interesting gargly gook. So we're just gonna build this and I'll prove it to you. Kind of a nice proof of concept, I guess, if you will. So let's see, start without debugging or control F5. Let's see, the character array at index 0, right, because arrays are start at 0, the index starts at 0, is T. That is true. We have T. This is a character array. So see what this character at 0 is value 0. And pretty sweet, right? So one other thing we can do here really quick, let's make a little for loop and we can print out each individual. And if you haven't made for loops before, this isn't a big deal, so you'll learn real quick. So you say for int I, and right, because we're going to initially start at 0. All indexes start at 0. I'm going to say I is less than value dot length, and we're going to say I plus plus. And right, another nice thing that strings have built in for you. I've seen actually, I saw my IntelliSense there. That's the little drop-down thing in IntelliSense. I saw there was a couple other things that they've built into it now, but yeah, this string has a nice little method function called length, which returns the length of whatever its string is, whatever its character array is. Right, so we have int I is equal to 0, I is less than value dot length, and I plus plus. And what that just means is so I'll talk about what it means in a second here. So let's display it. Let's say character I, and we'll say is equal to, and we'll say value not I, right? So now at this point, this loop, right, we just told the for loop start at 0, and then it's gonna say it's a Boolean expression here, is 0 less than the length. Well, we can pretty clearly see that it is. And then it's going to print this out, and then it will come back up here. It will increase the index, the counter by 1, right? That's what the plus plus means. And then it'll check this Boolean expression again. Is 1 less than the length? Yes. Print this out. And then it'll go back up here, right? Go to 2, is 2 less than length, print this out. And as long as I is less than the actual length, and I don't know, this probably looks like, what, a 10, 14, 5, 4, 2, let's see, 4, 3, 7, 11, and 16. So 16 plus 4 white spaces, so this should be about 20, so it should print out about 20. So let's see. So I built it, and then start without debugging. Ooh, that was pretty good. There we go, 0 to 19, 20. And it even printed out the white spaces too, right? It didn't skip them. It still reads them as an actual value. And if you look at, if you know your ASCII, ASCII, ASCII characters, you could print out the numerical value of each one of these too if you really want. But we won't get into that. We won't worry too much about that. Maybe I'll make a different video on that. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of a little proof of concept that strings truly are character arrays. So, and maybe I'll talk in a different video what immutable means and how that's stored and pulled from the heap and put in the stack in some other different ways. So, alright, that concludes this video.